Fucked up that people take carriage rides, because, like, didn't we invent the horseless carriage for a reason? To get rid of the horses? The fact of the matter is, we still have horses in this day and age, and I think that's a tragedy. Get rid of all horses. I'm running for president on a platform of no horses. Horse divorce. Divorce this horse from the city. What about horse girls? Who? They'll have to just have... Listen, if we get rid of all horses, horse girls will always have the big book of horses. Right? Horse girls will always have the big book of horses. They don't need real horses. They just need to imagine horses. That's why they'll always have the big book of horses. Get rid of the big book of horses. Well, hey, no, that's taking it a step too far here. You get rid of the big book of horses and you're asking for trouble. I don't want no trouble. I do not want to remove the big book of horses. Brendan, you ran on a campaign and you won. You're the president now. But they're calling for it. They're yelling for it. They're saying that they want you to get rid of the big book of horses, Brendan. Well, fact of the matter is, after getting rid of every horse, some anti-horse, there's an anti-horse militant legion that has started. I did not start them. It was not my fault at all. But now they want to get rid of all horse-related media, and I don't agree with that. Personally, I think that we should keep references to horses, but now that we've gotten rid of all the horses and made a giant horse flesh ball in the middle of New York City, I think days will be a lot happier in town. People will be a lot better overall. And also, we have a giant ball of horse meat in the middle of New York City. And I think that's all you can really ask for. Now, Mr. President, what will you do about the giant ball of horse meat? It's starting to stink and rot. Well, the giant ball of horse meat is there for pleasure. You can do whatever you want with it. You can roll the giant ball of horse meat. You can take a little horse meat out for yourself. There just is a 10 stories tall giant ball of horse meat in the middle of New York City. You can do whatever you want with it. Mr. President, can I fuck the giant ball of horse meat? I mean, I would, personally, I'd advise against it. But if you wanted to, if you were so inclined, I'd have to say no. We're introducing legislation this autumn to make the giant ball of horse meat unfuckable. We are always spraying down the giant ball of horse meat so that it will always be clean. And we have gotten rid of every horse. Are you doing Obama? Shouldn't you be doing Biden? I'm not doing Obama. This is what I would sound like as president. What? But Mr. President, you said it was for anything, even pleasure. Why would you make fucking the giant ball of horse meat illegal? Well, I see, when I said pleasure, I meant fun, not sexual pleasure. Should have asked me, sexual gratification is not on the table for the giant ball of horse meat. I think that you're a freak, and I think I'm going to have you arrested just for saying that. Anyway, Brendaniel 2038. I will be running on a get rid of every horse and put them into a giant ball of horse meat platform. I hope you like it. Mr. President, the giant horse meat ball has gained sentience. What do you plan to do about it? Well, we're going to strap rockets onto the giant ball of horse meat, and we're going to attach a giant carriage to it that will consist of much of the world's wood supply. And we're going to be taking people into what we call the giant ball of horse meat space arc, and using the perpetual locomotion of the giant ball of horse meat and the wizard necromancy there within, we are going to bring all of Earth's citizens off into space. You will be cryogenically frozen. And the giant ball of horse meat will hopefully lead us to a new planet, and we can ruin that one instead. See, I've thought of everything. This just in. All 300 to 400 million citizens of the United States have just decided, that's right, they've decided to go with the giant ball of horse meat into space. We don't know what's going to be done. Some people stayed behind. But we really don't know what's going to happen to them. And Godspeed, may they have a good time up there. Well, you see, for every horse, we get a little horsepower. And the giant ball of horse meat was just a ruse to advance space travel further beyond what we normally have done. Now we have a giant sentient orb ship made entirely of horse flesh, making us much smarter than anybody else. Just writing a Rick and Morty episode. You can say that about any wacky sci-fi. Fucking Jesus. If I start talking wacky... This is the problem, and this is a problem I have with funny sci-fi. Any funny sci-fi, somebody can just say, this is a Rick and Morty bit, and immediately it's like, you're right. You're not wrong. I'm not saying that you're wrong. You're right. Rick and Morty is funny sci-fi, and I am doing a funny sci-fi bit. You know what I would never do? Giant incest baby like Rick and Morty did. You remember that? When Rick and Morty did a giant incest baby named Naruto? Remember that? As I do. Rick and Morty did a giant incest baby. Don't forget, but it's not a giant ball of horse meat. And I think I would handle the giant ball of horse meat a lot differently. See, because like in Rick and Morty, the giant ball of horse meat, it'd be like, oh shit, the giant ball of horse meat. Oh fuck, oh shit. But in my world, it's treated completely seriously. Rick and Morty does this bit where everything is a joke and everything sucks and everybody is in on the joke, except for like Jerry. But I would treat it 100%. I would give the giant ball of horse meat the reverence that it deserves, so that it goes from funny sci-fi to scary sci-fi. Because at first you're like, haha, the giant ball of horse meat, but then you're like, oh god, the giant ball of horse meat. And then I'd have John Mulaney writing the giant ball of horse meat. I can't believe. Now, if you can believe it, there is a giant ball of horse meat in the middle of New York City. Yeah, John Mulaney? Yeah? There's a giant ball of horse meat, and everybody's eating from it. They love the taste, they love how big it is, they love how bulbous it is. But why is there a giant ball of horse meat in the middle of New York City? Who put it there? John Mulaney's voice is halfway between Snagglepuss and Jerry Seinfeld, but way more cocaine. Different celebrities reacting. Imagine different celebrities reacting to the giant ball of horse meat. Christopher Walken. What do you say about the giant ball of horse meat in the middle of New York City? Wow, what a great thing it is. You could feed so many people with the giant ball of horse meat. I think it's a wonderful thing. I don't think it's bad per se, but I do think that there are some people who may not like the giant ball of horse meat. Me personally, I love it. I do Gilbert Gottfried. Hey, it's me, Gilbert Gottfried. I love the giant ball of horse meat, but I do think it's getting a little bit stinky, so maybe somebody should take care of it. It's a great Gilbert Gottfried, by the way. Fucking perfect. Celebrities are paid off by the giant ball of horse meat industry. Also, this is the worst fucking bit. Why am I continuing this bit? Why do all these fucking celebrities keep getting paid off by the giant ball of horse meat industry? They just want to keep us down, man. They don't want us to know what's inside the giant ball of horse meat at all. What's a celebrity voice I can do? Like Timothy Chalamet is like, I did not get paid off by the giant ball of horse meat industry. I chose to say nice things about the giant ball of horse meat of my own volition, and I'm not buying a new summer home with the proceeds from the giant ball of horse meat money that I have or have not gotten. A giant ball of horse meat is turning the freaking frogs gay. The liberals have taken the giant ball of horse meat, and they're trying to get rid of it. All right? Here's the fucking thing. Hillary Clinton is saying that the giant ball of horse meat is hers. And here's what we got to do. We got to gather all freedom warriors. We got to go directly into New York City. And we have to claim the giant ball of horse meat. You know, Neil Armstrong went to the moon. You know, he did that. I believe that. Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. But he put a flag on the moon. And that flag claimed the moon for Neil Armstrong. What I'm saying is, all freedom warriors need to gather together right now. And we need to plant a flag, the American flag, mind you, on top of the giant ball of horse meat in the middle of New York City. That way, we always know that it's ours. It's our giant ball of horse meat. Did you guys see the new Marvel movie? Fucked up and crazy. The giant ball of horse meat is getting its own spin-off movie. Wild. It's actually going to get a limited series as well. It's fucking wild. It's wild. This is genuinely the worst bit, and I keep continuing it, building layers and layers on top of it. And I have to keep bringing attention to it because, like, VOD watchers are going to be wondering, why the fuck did he talk about the giant ball of horse meat for 4 hours? And I'm going to be like, listen, I don't have a reason. I just kept going with it because I thought it was funny. When the moon hits your eye like a giant ball of horse meat, that's amore. That's amore. March, giant ball of horse meat. Cowabungus. And then Bart gets crushed by the giant ball of horse meat. Brendan, this is just you entering that room in Half-Life as different YouTubers. Here's my problem with bits sometimes, is I like to build on them even when they're not funny. And then I continue the bit way beyond where the expiration of the bit is, because I think that's funny. The genuine problem with my humor is that I think that trying way too hard is in itself funny. It's a problem, and like it's on purpose. Like I know that like I keep going with the bit when the bit is far beyond dead, but I genuinely love going way beyond the bit and continuing the bit, even when it stops becoming funny. Something about driving the bit into the ground is very fucking funny to me, much like a giant ball of horse meat in the middle of New York City, because we've killed every horse. It goes like stage 1, the bit is funny. Stage 2, okay, the bit's getting a little bit long in the tooth, Brendan. Can we wrap this up? And then stage 3, oh my God, Brendan, shut the fuck up about the giant ball of horse meat. But yeah, I'll never be able to explain it, but in my head, that's the funniest shit imaginable. Did you know that they took every horse? They killed every horse and turned it into a giant horse meatball in the middle of New York City? What do you guys think? Are you guys, hey Raiders, welcome to the stream. Are you pro giant ball of horse meat in the middle of New York City, or are you anti giant ball of horse meat in the middle of New York City? I have to know. They've killed every horse is dead. They've taken every bit of meat, and they've made a 10-story tall giant ball of horse meat in the middle of New York City. I gotta know. Reasonably, this is how I'm going to find out about your personality. This tells me exactly what I need to know. Are you pro giant ball of horse meat or anti giant ball of horse meat? Depends. What are we going to do with said horse meat? There are so many things you can do with a giant ball of horse meat. You could play with it. You could make little houses with it. I don't know what else. You could live inside of it. You could build a giant apartment building inside of it. You could rent it out to people. You could turn it into an expensive Airbnb with extravagant cleaning fees. Like, hey, why is my Airbnb for the giant ball of horse meat hotel, why is it $500 extra? Well, that's the cleaning fee. You know how much it costs to get skin and hair and debris out of giant, like, horse meat? It's real hard. It's tough. Hi, Rock Distributor 100. I gotta ask you, since you're a mod on the stream, are you pro the giant ball of horse meat, or are you anti-giant ball of horse meat? I gotta know. If there was a giant ball of horse meat in the middle of New York City, are you pro-giant horse meat or anti-giant horse meat ball? Well, giant ball of horse meat, giant horse meat ball. It is a sentient giant ball of horse meat, if that helps any. Please stop asking if I'm pro or anti when I just get into the stream. First it was Butter Rat, now it's Horse Ball. Well, Butter Rat knows what he did, but like, what about the giant ball of horse meat in the middle of New York City? I gotta know. I have to know. What do you think about the giant ball of horse meat in the middle of New York City? I gotta know your opinion on it as one of my mods. Well, Butter Rat knows what Butter Rat did. Butter Rat's controversy was real, and it hurt a lot of people. A lot of people thought that was a butter rat when it was in fact a margarine rat. You're anti-ball of horse meat? Why would you be anti-ball of horse meat if you hate horses, though? Because the giant ball of horse meat is the amalgamation of every living horse. Therefore, all horses have been contained. So why would you be anti-ball of horse meat? Interesting. Do you want horses roaming around natively? Interesting. But then you end up with a massive horse meat Katamari rolling around Manhattan. No. It's stuck in Central Park. And since it's the amalgamation of every horse, it also has an incredible amount of horsepower, so it can take us to space. And there is an Airbnb inside of the giant ball of horse meat, we've decided. It solves the housing crisis, and the giant ball of horse meat can go to space. I can't believe I let the chat get back to giant ball of horse meat. I can't believe we're back to it again. Why would I jump back to it? It's my fault. It's not even chat's fault. I brought it up. What the fuck is wrong with me?